I don't know about you, but that looked like money.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Today is going to be probably a pretty long video. I've given a lot of thought about this recently. Actually, not recently, it's been a while. The infatuation with mid to high grades on vintage when it really doesn't have to be that way. And let me explain a little bit, and then we're going to kind of dive into some visuals. I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube over the last few weeks where men and women are resubmitting their graded cards and cards are coming back with a different grade. And it leads me to believe that we're putting way too much focus on the actual number on the slab of the card. And we're paying a lot of money for that number. Now, we've all heard the phrase, buy the card, not the grade. And I believe that 100%, but I'm also guilty of looking at the grade first sometimes when looking at vintage cards. You know, if I see a listing for let's say a PSA 2 or an SGC 2, I kind of don't jump and look closer at the listing, if that makes sense. It depends on the card, obviously. If it's, like a 33 Sport Kings or a 35 Schickel, then I don't care what grade it is. It can be a 1 and I'm looking at that. But I'm talking more, 50s, 60s, even 70s stuff that I think we're definitely hyper focused on the number and not the actual card. When I started putting my football rookie card set together, the Hall of Fame rookie cards, I noticed that there were a lot of really good buys out there for cards that looked tremendous, looked really good. The eye appeal was off the charts, but the grade was low. We're often focused, well, some of us are focused on getting the collector grade, which, whatever, teach their own. I don't really buy into that, but I guess it's a good way to, kind of set an expectation for what you want. If you want a card from the 60s, the expectation would be I want at least a 6. And anything under that, to hell with it, I don't want it because it doesn't have a numerical 6th grade. That's fine, teach their own, but I've seen some higher grades that look a hell of a lot worse than lower grades, and that's kind of what I'm going to get at in this video. I personally, I don't have the greatest vintage football card collection. I'm not making that statement. I'm not promoting that I have that. Do I think I have nice cardboard? Yeah, I do. I think I have nice cards. Do I have the highest graded cards in the world? Nope, I don't. I have a budget. I have other limitations. I can't just go and piss money away on cardboard. I have to pick and choose and budget and sometimes sell some stuff to acquire other things. That's just, fund the hobby by funding the hobby, as they say. But back to the point, I've got some nice cards that are not graded very high, and we're going to look at a stack of those that I have in my Pro Football Hall of Fame rookie card collection. I do have some cards, in that set that I'm putting together that are above the collector's grade. But many of the expensive ones, I look for deals. I'm a deal hunter. If the eye appeal is great, then I'm all over it, especially if it's a deal. Like, yeah, sign me up. We're going to look at a few of those that you hold the card in front of your face, and it's graded a 2 or a 3, and it looks like a 6 or a 7. I love those. I've got a fair number of those in my collection. Some are expensive cards and some are not so expensive. But it's all relative. It's the same deal, you know, I've got cards in the 70s that are graded 5s that look like 7s and 8s. I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm not a set registry guy with PSA. I honestly don't care what the slab is. It could be PSA, it could be SGC, it could be CGC, it could be BVG. Any one of those four, sign me up. I posted on my Instagram not too long ago that there are a lot of deals to be had with Beckett slabs right now. And I know a lot of people hate Beckett, but not too long ago, Beckett was top dog in this hobby. And you can't forget that. You know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Beckett was arguably number one. PSA probably still was, but Beckett was up there, you know, neck and neck with them. And to discount Beckett slabs right now, I don't know. I'm kind of taking advantage of that. And I've got some very high grade vintage football cards coming in the mail that I got for a steal. Like, I can't believe I paid what I paid for them. Hall of Fame quarterbacks, you know, not rookie cards or anything, but early year Hall of Fame card or quarterback specific cards that are graded very, very high for, you know, the year. You know, a 9 grade on a card that's from the early 60s. You can get it for under $60. Yeah, that's what I was able to do last week. So anyway, we're gonna go through some slides. You know, I like to do slides, and I don't think I need to do any pop report data or anything like that. I don't plan on doing that, but I want to look at, you know, I titled this video Less Glitz, More Glamour, and there's a reason for that. You know, I'm going to throw the definitions of each one of those up there now. But yeah, let's dive into what I think is a good way, not the way, not the perfect way, but a very good way to build a very nice vintage football card collection. And hell, not even just football, any vintage. This is the way I've done it. I've had a good run doing it, a lot of fun doing it. And I've saved some money doing it too, and I'm happy with what I have for the most part. Now, yeah, there are probably a couple cards I'll replace down the line if I want to, but right now I'm in a good place, and I kind of want to show everybody out there what I personally do with my collection, like what my collection looks like. So we're going to look at a couple stacks of my lower grade high appeal cards that, you know, they don't look the grade, let's put it that way, and it's a lot easier on the wallet. So let's do this. Let's have a look. So first off, what is glitz anyway? To me, glitz is the, you know, the high grade vintage stuff, you know, PSA 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, I guess. Yeah, they're nice to have, no doubt about it. I would love to have more high grade vintage in my collection, but the glitz to me isn't worth the kick in the gut when it comes to paying the bills for these things. So I'm more of a glamour guy, where I've got something that looks really good. It looks like a high grade. It looks like it's got a lot of glitz, but it's got some warts, but it still looks good. It's better than putting lipstick on a pig. Let's not confuse the two. It's having something that looks better than what it really is. And we're going to dive into that right now. All my cards are in plastic sleeves, so pardon the glare. But let's start with some stuff in the 70s. This is a newly graded, or newer grade, John Stallworth rookie card. It's graded a 6. This thing is perfectly centered. Corners are great. You're not going to be able to tell through your TV screen or your phone screens, but this thing looks great. The color is tremendous. The wart on this is it's got a dinged lower right hand corner. My GoPro is not going to zoom in on this, but it's right there. It's there. Does it deserve a 6? Probably. I'm not saying these grades aren't, deserved. What I'm saying is, if you can live with the numerical grade and the card itself looks good, then it's not a bad idea, in my opinion. So that's one from the 70s. I pulled out a ton of cards. I don't know if we'll go through them all, but here's another one from the 70s, a 74 Harold Carmichael rookie card. He just got in the Hall of Fame not too long ago. Again, this one, eye appeals great. The color is great. Look at the colors just jump off this card. And I honestly don't remember what was wrong with this to get such a low grade. That's the fun part of this too. It's like, you buy a card. I think this one cost me under 20 bucks delivered to my door. And I spent a lot of time looking as to, why it got a 5. That's kind of fun in a way. Go through these a little quicker. This is going to be a 3-hour video. This is one of my favorites. This is a Bullet Bob Hayes rookie. Bob Hayes was an incredible athlete, Olympian, Hall of Fame football player. This got a 2.5. And this got a 2.5 because I think there's a small wrinkle going right across here. It doesn't break the surface, but it's there. It's almost like a bubble. But it's right there. You can't even notice it because it's kind of in line with the wrinkles in his jersey. So this looks like a 6, and I paid the price of a 2.5. And again, the back of this is, the color just pops. Moving on to the next one. All these cards are going to be below collector grade. This is a 5, so not too terrible. John Mackey rookie. But again, looks quite a lot better than a 5. To me, if you've got to put the card under a loop to see what's wrong with it, then sign me up for the discount because of the grade. I love those. This is one of my favorites, one of my favorite examples. This is an expensive card. It's a 63 Topps Bob Lilly. Look at that thing. Now it's graded a 3.5. At first glance, doesn't that look a lot better than that? Why is it a 3.5? Well, it does deserve it. Let me move my light here. There is a wrinkle right there above his head. It doesn't go through, but it's there. That little crease, surface crease, whatever you want to call it, that you can barely see, knocked it down from probably a 6 to a 3.5. Still a really good grade for this year. 63 Topps is absolutely brutal when it comes to grades, just because of the borders. How about this 61 Don Maynard? Yes, it's off center, top to bottom. No doubt about that. But if you know anything about 61 Fleer, centering sucks on these cards. And this one actually isn't too bad, especially side to side. A 4 to me, you know, it's got the two top corners have some touch on them. And the bottom left does too. The bottom right isn't too bad. But there's touch on all four corners. No wrinkles. No creases. No spots of anything. And this got a 4. Compared to other 61 Fleers, this is a hell of a nice 4. Let's keep moving. Oops. Webster's dad, Alex Karras. This also got a 4. Yeah. Nice 4, right? It's got a soft corner in the upper right, little touch in the upper left. I think the big thing is the bottom right there. You can see it. It's quite a ding. Definitely deserves a 4, but at first glance, that looks a lot better than that. I love cards like that. Now we're coming up on some 57s. These are all 4s or less. Dick Nitre Lane. One of the biggest cards in the set. Look at the color on that thing. Centering's almost perfect. Upper right corner kind of has a ding there. But the rest of it's pretty nice. The back is clean. Yeah. So the next one, this is a PSA 4 again of Jack Butler. Same deal. Centering is pretty perfect. Registration's good. On 57s, registration is kind of an issue with a lot of the cards. This one's got a ding on the lower right corner too. But I mean, the eye appeal is, can't argue with that. Great color, no creases. There might be a little something there. A little touch of something like ink. I don't know. Print defect. And then one of my favorite low grades is this Bart Starr. Now if you look at that, you're like, wow, if I covered the grade, which I should have done first, I guess, that would have been kind of cool. Doesn't that look amazing? That looks like a 5 at least, especially with the centering and registration on this. The Bart Starr rookie card, the centering is very problematic, and it's got registration issues too. And there's the back. Clean, a little off center up and down, but it's not miscut or anything. So you might be asking, Jeremy, why is this a 2? There is a surface crease going right here. Again, sorry, it's in the plastic. It's hard to see, but it's there. Goes right through there. It doesn't go all the way through. And that's the only one there is. And when you're looking at it, you can't even see it. I paid a fraction of what a PSA 5 or an SGC 5 of this card would go for. That's the type of stuff I like. Yeah, it's a 2.5, whatever. It's one of the nicest 2.5s you'll ever find. And this one I'm going to keep for a while. I don't know if I'll ever replace it. It's just higher grade copies don't look this good. Gonna move on. This is turning into a very long video. All right, one of my favorite cards I own. This is a collector's grade, but the reason I'm showing this card is I don't know why this is a 5. I don't care that it's a 5, but I looked this card over and I don't see anything. Even the corners are sharp. Now, it's a newer PSA grade. Not super new, but newer. And this card is spectacular. Now, if you know anything about the 56 Topps Lenny Moore rookie card, finding this card centered it's almost impossible. It is almost impossible. Just the way it was oriented on the sheet. Most of these came way off center, left to right, borderline miscut. If you can find one centered at a good price, or even, hell, even if you have to overpay, do it, because I bought this a year and a half ago and I still have it on a eBay list or eBay Save Search because I want to get another one. They're that hard to find, and I've not found another centered one in any grade come up for sale. I've seen PSA 7s and 8s that are off center, but none that look like this. This is one of my favorite cards in my collection. I absolutely love it. But yeah, little friendly tip, if you find one of these centered and you can afford it, grab them, because there aren't very many Lenny Moore rookie cards that are centered like this. Next up, nobody knows who Stan Jones is, but he is a Hall of Famer, former Bear. And no, this card isn't perfect even at first glance. It's got a upper left corner and a bottom right corner that are, you know, visibly dinged. The killer for this is that it's got a slight surface crease right there, which knocked it down to a 2.5. But the eye appeal, awesome on this card. Color is great. Gosh, 50s football is just so gorgeous. Oops, I'm getting all fired up about these cards. Next up, oh yeah, just got this one for my autogram run. Yes, it's off center, and I honestly haven't looked this card over too much. I just got it in the mail the other day. But 54 grams, they're out there. They don't pop up a whole lot. But I thought this was nice. Even though it's off left to right, the color and registration are off the charts. And the corners are really good. So we're going to look at this together for the first time, because I haven't really... Man, I don't see it on the front. Unless there might be a little roll down here. I can't tell. And the back is absolutely clean. Clean. Yeah. So hopefully you're seeing a theme here of the point I'm trying to make. Here's another one. This is, first of all, 52 Bowman Large has major centering issues, and this Frank Gifford is dead nuts. It's just about perfect. Most of them are off center left to right or up and down, and many of those are also diamond cut. So having this one dead centered, great registration, great color. But why is it a 2? Well, see if I can even find it again. It's right there. Is it coming through? Again, there's a crease on the front. I can't remember if this goes to the back or not. It does. It's right there. You can see it easier on the back. But that little 1/2 inch crease right there knocked it down to a 2. If you look at it like that and you cover the grade up, that is a very expensive card. But it's a Jeremy special. It was not expensive, but it looks like it was. A lot of glamour on that one. We're almost done, I promise. Here we go. Bobby Dan Dillon. I just put this card on Instagram not too long ago. If you don't know the story about Bobby Dan Dillon, you should Google it real quick. It's pretty crazy. Again, a Bowman Large. I just talked about the centering issues with those. Same drill. This one isn't too bad. Off left to right a little bit, but other than that, the color is gorgeous on this. And this is also a 2. And this one has, there you go, you can see it right there. It goes all the way across. So this crease goes all the way across. You can definitely see it a little more. At least I can, from my view. There it is. Goes all the way across left to right. And it got a 2. Now it does go all the way through too. So this is a complete fold, if you want to call it a fold. But it got a 2. So did this, with that little itty bitty crease. Grading is kind of stupid. I just don't get it. That's why I don't put a lot of stock into the number. This one I've talked about before. I have no idea where the mark is on this card. I had a guy reach out to me on Instagram telling me that a lot of times they're on the back and they're really hard to find. But this Norm Van Brocklin 51 Bowman, they normally have, and I did a video on Norm Van Brocklin not too long ago. This card usually has print lines going across, like under his mouth and through the numbers on his jersey. 51 Bowman baseball was known for that too. This one does not have that. And not to mention this thing's centered almost perfectly, and the color is outstanding. It is a 2 because of the same thing. It's got a little crease right there. Right there. That's why it's a 2. It looks like a 6. Corners are good. Not perfect, but they're pretty damn good for a 2. The back is clean, although there's supposedly a mark somewhere on here. I don't quite know where it is. This is one I might upgrade. I'm a Van Brocklin guy. The more I read up on him, he was quite an interesting character. Hell of a player too, and had a bit of a mouth as a coach. Definitely look it up. Some of the stuff he said wouldn't fly today, let's put it that way. But so that one, we're almost done, I promise. Now some 50 Bowmans coming up. This is a Max Speedy. He's a Hall of Famer. Rookie card. It's a 3. It's a new grade, and again, it's this corner, I'm pretty sure, that knocked it down, because it's not like, it's not bent, but it's got a pretty good ding there. The other 3 corners are nice. The centering's great. The color's good. The back is typical 50 Bowman. You know, a little browning on the back. Pretty common. It's old. It's 75 years old. And I think I got a couple more left. Same thing with this Joe Perry rookie. This corner is a little soft. But look at the centering and the color on this. And it gets a... And I don't see any dimples or dings in the surface or anything on this. Yeah. It's a 3.5, not a bad grade for a card from the 50s, to be honest. I love targeting. If you've followed my Instagram account, I mentioned several times how much I love targeting half grades. I've got a ton of half grades in my collection. All right, we've got just 2 more. This one, look at the centering on this 48 leaf Bobby Lane. Or I'm sorry, not Bobby Lane, Sammy Baugh. Many of you probably know that 48 leaf is awful for centering. It's awful for a lot of things, honestly. The paper sucks. Registration usually not very good either. This one, it checked the boxes for me. Centering's great. Registration's good. It's not perfect. There's some schmutz there. It's got 2 light creases in it. One right there and another one right there. So yeah, it deserves a 2, but you can barely see those creases are like perfectly placed, honestly. If I were to have a crease card on this, putting the creases in the arms where you can't see them is perfect. It's like somebody did it on purpose. And the back is actually really well centered for 48 leaf. Usually the text is shifted up on these. This one's really, really good. Really, really good. We got one more card. This is a big card, and I'm saving it for last for a reason. This is one of the biggest cards I have. It's a 33 Red Grange. One of the most gorgeous vintage football cards out there. Everything about it's just beautiful. Just everything. This is a PSA 1. Now, if you go onto eBay, or if you go look at past sales of PSA 1s on this card, or any card really, many of them either have a pinhole, which automatically gets it a 1, or it looks like it was run over by a dump truck. This Red Grange PSA 1 looks like a 2 or a 3 if you just hold it in your hand. It isn't until you tilt it. And hell, I can barely see it now, but there's a crease there. There's a crease there. And there's one right there between the G and the S, coming down a little ways. Right there. But other than that, this thing is stunning for a 1. It's stunning for a 2. But a 2 is going to run, a 2 that looks like this is going to run you, probably over $2,000. I think that's what they're going for. And if you look at PSA 3s, they're up over $3,000. I paid a high PSA 1 price for this, but I paid up for it because it doesn't look like a 1 to me, but I'll gladly pay an upper end 1 price. I have no problem with that. So yeah, what do you all think? It's one strategy that I have. Buying cards that look better than their grade, because honestly, watching videos of people grading and then regrading and resubmitting to different grading companies to get a different grade, it's like, why are we paying top dollar for top grades when they really don't mean a whole hell of a lot, apparently. If it looks good, buy it. You know, gives a shit what the grade is. That's kind of where I'm at. Pardon the language, but that's kind of where I'm at with that whole subject. The number is, it's a good guide, I guess. But even then, is it? You know, I just recently watched a video where somebody submitted, I don't know, a bunch of cards to PSA and then resubmitted them to SGC, and the grade bumps were like all over the place. It's like, what are we doing here? It's just, to me, I buy them slabbed because at least I know that they're 99.9% authentic. I'm sure some sneak through and counterfeits happen, but for the most part, I know my cards are real. The grade is secondary to me. That's just me. And I can't stop looking at that Red Grange card. Anyway, let me know what you think, where you stand on this whole thing. I think I've exhausted enough of your time. We're going on 35 minutes or so on this video, so I need to cut it. Hope to talk to you all soon, and I look forward to hearing some feedback. Thanks.